Hi, this is Anthony from the Board Game Nexus, and welcome to another board game crowdfunding rundown. This one is for week ending Sunday, May 15th. So just 8 days from today. Today's the 7th, a little later in the day than I normally put these out, but things come up. We have a long list of games to go through this week, but not nearly as long as the last few weeks. There's been quite a bit going on with regards to different campaigns coming out and some closing. We can go through that in a little bit, but we won't go too much into that. But as usual, we're going to only focus on games that are tabletop games in nature. We're not going to do anything that's RPG specific. So anything that we would deem and define as a board game. We are also only going to be covering three main categories here. So we're going to be looking at games and campaigns that are ending within the next week. So things that you're going to want to pay attention to and take action on pretty quickly if you want to get into those campaigns before they're over. We're going to talk about games that have launched this past week and that are now active and just sort of kicking off. And then we're going to cover a few games that are actually coming up and looking to start their campaigns in the next week. At least those that we know about. We don't know about too many this week. So with that, let's jump in. So first we're going to cover games that are ending in the coming week. And a lot of these games we've already covered in the previous episode, so you probably have seen, we've been doing these weekly now, so you're going to see a lot of repeats on these, so I won't go too much into them, just because we've already talked about them, some of these at least numerous times. I definitely remember Dreamers, the two-player card game, which I thought was pretty interesting. Didn't know if I was looking to get it. I remember the price point being fair. So yeah, so it's like a $19 card game. I thought the art was nice on it. It seemed pretty cool. Like it was definitely interesting. So it's at 26,250 out of 11,000. So it is funded. 825 backers. Pretty nice art. A game full of deception and betrayal. Just not really my cup of tea. Francis and I don't really tend to play games of backstabbing and deceit. It's just not what we enjoy. But for those of you who do, two-player card game for that, I think Dreamers is right up your alley. You have 7 days to go to back this one. And like I said, we've already talked about this in previous episodes, so we're not going to go on too much about it. But there you go. If you want to check out Dreamers, go for it. Next one on Gamefound, we definitely talked about this multiple times. This is the Oranienburger Kana Uwe Rosenberg game. So this one, again, we've talked about, and I've said that it's an Uwe Rosenberg game. We love his games. So it's a no-brainer for us. 68,000 out of a $10,000 goal. I'm really surprised that this is only backed this much, even though it is 650% funded. It's kind of deceiving because it's only 70 grand. When you've got so many other games that are funding in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. But this is definitely, it's a 1 or 2 player game. Maybe that's where it's kind of pushing people away. I would definitely go for this, especially with us, because 2-player games are right up our alley for an hour. Uwe, I do like his longer games, like 1 to 4 player Euros. But hey, I'm always willing and open to try these out. So this is definitely an interest of mine. 6 days left to go on it. 1,200 backers, well funded. Definitely go check it out if you're interested in Uwe games. We're definitely interested in this one. So next one up, Chocoloco. Now we didn't talk about this one before, so I don't know how it didn't make my list. But this is Candy Crush meets poker and a family-friendly strategy card game for 2 to 4 chocolatiers. $3,580 out of a $1,000 goal. So really low goal. Met it. 98 backers. 5 days ago. It's a simple card game. I always like to jump into the price points. It's a $29 pledge. Seems a little high for a card game. But it looks like a Candy Crush. So I guess you're doing maybe 3 matches and they blow each other up and then everything else kind of comes out card wise. That would be my guess. Yeah, 5 of a kind, you get bonuses, wild, recover, and you're matching the different types of chocolate as they come out and you play them into the rows. Interesting. I mean, I'm sure it's fun. I'd give it a whirl. $29. I don't know if it's. I don't know what the why the price is so high on these if they're cards, but it seems interesting. Not a bad looking game. Chocoloco. If you're into Candy Crush and you want a card game version of that with chocolates, then go check it out. $29. 5 days to go. Next up, this one's I didn't see about this one either. So 5 days ago on this one, G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Take on the Cobra forces in this 2 to 5 player cooperative miniatures game. 138,000, 1,100 backers. Only 5 days to go on this one. It is funded. I grew up watching G.I. Joe, so that definitely interests me. But I don't know if this is just like abstract locations where you're sending troops out to defeat Cobra. Maybe your guys look like they get special abilities, so they've got Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Duke, Stalker, and Covergirl. That's interesting. Cobra Commander and Baroness. Like, where's Dusty? Where's all the real deal G.I. Joes that I remember? Dr. Mindbender, Major Bud, and Copperhead. I don't even know who those guys are. Where's Destro? Come on, man. Cobra Troopers, Crimson Guard. I don't know. Seems interesting. I like the art. Art looks pretty slick. I'd play it just because I love G.I. Joe. These are begging to be painted though because they just look too much like army characters when done in this green plastic. Not for me, but it looks interesting. 2 to 5 players, 45 to 80 minutes. I bet you there's some pretty cool scenarios. Yeah, I'd go for it. What are we talking about price here now? That's the kicker. So for the core game, Snake Eyes upgrade and a vehicle pack, it's $99. $145 is all in. It's not too bad. That is not too bad. So, yep. 5 days to go on this one. G.I. Joe, check it out. Seems interesting. Interesting. Well funded. Not surprised. All right, Moogh. We talked about this 1 to 4 player semi-co-op programming game where tribes of Cayman are joining forces to beat big beasts. This one looked okay to me. Wasn't like blown away by what I saw here, but I could be underestimating it. Still feel the same way. I just don't know. I don't know. Just the looks of it are kind of blah, but I guess maybe there's more to it than I'm seeing. The programming bit could be interesting, but I don't know. $5,500 out of 10 doesn't look like they're going to get funded here. They've only got 4 days left. They're just over half funded, 52%. Probably not going to happen. It's unfortunate. I think if they do not fund, maybe they'll beef up the components a little bit. I think that might be what's holding it back. I don't know. That's what kind of like deters me, but who am I? But that's Moogh. Go check it out. I'm not sure if they're going to make it, but they probably need another 100 backers in 4 days. So it's a tough one. Hydroracers, the Snyder Trophy Epic. We talked about this one. Canceled. So there's projects that are being canceled. Like, this is happening, folks. Normally I just cut them out of here, but I think it's worth talking about because I spent talking about these the last couple of weeks. I didn't think it was going to fund. I think it was kind of lagging. I thought it was cool looking. But I don't know if there's more to it than just racing. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where the now, if you can make like a dogfighting game that looked like this on a board, World War I maybe with biplanes, like that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool. But maybe there just wasn't enough interest in hydroplane racing. But it looks slick, and I think it probably, I don't know. Maybe they were looking for too much money. Who knows? They only had 65 backers for $9,000. They needed 20. That's a shame. That is a total shame. Oh well, sorry about that one, Hydroracers. That's sad. Next up, Lawyer Up. We talked about this. 95,000 out of 24. This one's definitely funded. This one looks good. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I look at it, I get more and more interested in this game. I need to get myself a copy. Absolutely. You've got 4 days left on this one. I think you need to go check it out. Look, Season 2 box and inserts, the next stretch goal. Less than $4,000 away. Well, less than $5,000, sorry. $4,800 away, $4,750 to be exact. So, like, hopefully they hit that stretch goal. Like, you get even more good stuff on this. But, man, this game looks good. Lawyer Up Season 2. Really interested in this one. 4 days left on it. So, go check it out, folks. Go check it out. What's the buy-in on this? $50. Come on, man. All in for season 2. It looks cool. Yeah, it really looks cool. I think I need this. I think I need it. All right, folks. Moving on. That's Lawyer up to. All right, this one's neat. This one I didn't see before. So Table Golf Association. This is like tabletop golf with these little like things you flick. Now, normally I'm like not sure, but I saw some videos of this or pictures of it the other day, and I was like, this looks pretty cool. I'm sorry, but this looks neat. I'm not gonna lie. This looks really neat, and I bet you it's tough too. Man, I don't know, like dexterity golf on a table where they tell you how to design the holes, and you just play 18 holes on the table. Like, come on, man. That's really cool. I got to tell you. If there's a Dex game out there that I'm interested in, this is probably the one. 124,850 backers. Let's see what the buy-in is. It's got to be expensive, right? Yeah, base game is $75. So, looks like it's nice thick cardboard, and it's got to be cardboard that doesn't warp, right? I mean, they've got to be careful about that, because a lot of games, even with the thick stuff, you put it out, and immediately within like 10 minutes, it starts to bend. And if you're playing a game of precision, where you're flicking this little thing and it's got to slide evenly across all those tiles, if they start warping, forget it. The game's unplayable. So I hope they're made of like wood or something. Super high quality, solid wood. There you go. Now we're talking. So yes, smart move, guys. I got to give it to them. This is definitely worth it. $75, hands down, absolutely worth it. If you're a golf fan and you like a little bit of dexterity games, hands down, you need to own this game. No question. Table Golf Association. 4 days left, folks. 4 days. DC deck building game 10th anniversary. $773,000. 4,300 backers. 4 days to go. $70 is the Injustice and Rivals. Looks like 135 for the big dog, and then 200 or more for the super fan, where you get everything. This DC deck building game is one of the first deck building games I owned getting into this hobby, and I gotta admit, I didn't love it. Didn't love it at all. I thought it was just, I didn't feel like I was playing the characters. Felt kind of disconnected. Didn't love it, unfortunately. So this doesn't call out to me. I had this base set, the deck building game. I don't think I had any add-ons to it. I just had that one, and I was playing it, and I'm like, yeah, you go after the villains, but it just, I don't know. It didn't feel like the Marvel ones now, where you play those character decks, and the Marvel, I think it's Champions, where you play the decks out, and you've got like abilities for that character. You feel like you're playing that character. You feel like you're fighting against their henchmen. You feel like you're fighting against the villains. Like it just feels cohesive, and the theme is tied together. You feel like you're playing your character. And this one, it didn't feel that way to me. So this was a long time ago, and I think I played it like 2 times, and I never opened it again. I don't even know if I still have it, to be honest with you. If I do, it's buried somewhere. But if you're interested in it, like almost 5,000 people are, they like this. I just wasn't. This one did not do it for me, but a lot of people are interested in it. So that's DC deck building game 10th anniversary. I guess they're just doing reprints of it. 4 days left. If you're interested, get on it. Go check it out. Wayfarers of the South, Tigris. We talked about this. Over 300 grand funded, almost 5,000 backers. 4 days left. I said I was interested in this one. Still am. Haven't played any of the games in these series, and I don't know why, because they're all like really good looking. I think I played one game. Sorry, in the Viking series, and enjoyed it. I think this one really looks more up our alley. So I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on a copy of this, and very interested. So 4 days left on Wayfarers of the South Tigris. I say go check this out. I definitely think it looks good, for sure. Sleeping Gods. We talked about this. $1.69 million. So Red Raven is just killing it with this. So this is the expansion to the Sleeping Gods. Whole lot more story. A lot more stuff going on. We did a video on Sleeping Gods way back when it was like prototype on Kickstarter for the first one. This one looks, equally as slick and beautiful. They do great stuff. Their games are very thematic, very narrative. I'm sure this one's going to be awesome. So this is a no-brainer. No wonder it's so well funded. If you are any fan of Red Raven, and if you're a fan of the original Sleeping Gods, you probably already are backing this. And if you haven't yet, you've got 3 days left to go make up your mind. So get on it. I won't even worry about the cost. I don't even look at it because you don't even need to know it. Next up, Autobahn. We talked about this too. 168,000. 3 days left on this campaign. 3,200 backers. A game about the Autobahn. I thought this was a really nice looking game. Looked kind of fun. Thought I would definitely play this game. So it's another one that I would like to buy. A lot of good games. I'll be honest. A lot of good games that I think that interest me at the very least. $54 for this one. The price point's right. The art looks good. Components look solid. All around good package. Definitely interested in Autobahn. So 3 days to go, folks. Go check it out. Uprising, Titans of the First Age, another one, 572,000. 2 days left, 13 hours, 21 minutes. This is that 4X fantasy game that we went through. I wasn't like in love with the way these standees look. I don't know. For me, this one didn't call. Looks like there's a lot going on, so maybe there's a lot of meat in this game, which is good. But I'm not very much into 4X games, at least not in my current situation where it's just Francis and I playing each other. Like 4X for us, it's just too brutal. Because, you know, a couple of those X's are hurting each other, so we're just not into it. But if you guys are into the 4X fantasy, like 3,690 of you are, go check it out. You've got 2 days left. Uprising. Looks like the reprint of this one, and then the brand new Titans of the First Age. So go check it out. It is on Gamefound. Phraya. Okay, so this was that I think it was a worker movement pick up and deliver game. It was like those water markets in Asia. Really pretty looking game. I said I was interested in this one for sure. Looks good. Definitely $44. I think the price point's right. Looks like a nice, solid, enjoyable game. I love this like double layer with the little cubes going. That's a nice touch. Yeah, like everything about it. It's only 14,000 funded, $15,000. Really surprised that it's so so low because it looks like a nice solid game. But hey, at least it's funded. You have 1 day, 7 hours to go back this one. I say get in there if you want to back this guy. Phraya looks solid on Gamefound. Go check it out. Assault on Doomrock, 183,000 they're up to now. Well funded, 1,400 backers, 1 day, 18 hours left on this. I told you about, I own the original Assault on Doomrock, Doompocalypse that I backed on Kickstarter many years ago. Really liked this game. It's definitely one of my first Kickstarter games I backed, and I never regretted it. Game was solid. Love to see the fact that they're creating a new life in it because it's been a while, and I think this is something that if you're into these fantasy games and like it's really a unique battle system. I think you should go at least read about it and check it out, and then decide whether or not it's something that's gonna appeal to you, because I thought it was really good at the time. You know, I haven't played it in a long time, but it's making me want to take this out and play some more. I have to brush up on the rules, and hopefully they've updated the rules, because there were some fiddly bits back in the day. I remember that much. That made it a little bit complicated, but even then I still enjoyed it. So that is the Assault on Doomrock Ultimate Edition. Go check it out. You have 1 day, 18 hours left to get on that. Explorers of the Woodlands. Now, this is another one we see. These are all the ones we talked about. So we talk about them coming in. Now we're talking about them going out. So at least you gotta, it's in your face. We're letting you know, hey, these games are still out there. You still have a chance. This one has 61 hours left. $54,000 funded out of a 10,500 goal, 2,000 backers. So it's well funded. 1 to 4 player co-op, which is a tile placement, exploration, rolling dice, and bashing monsters. So it looked cute. I'm not sure about this one. Not sure about it. I'd have to look into it a little bit further, but I haven't been interested enough considering all the other games that I see out that I want, that this one hasn't really called to me stronger than the others. So but like I said, we've already talked about this one, so I'm not going to go too much into it. The price is pretty cheap, $31. I think that's kind of super cheap. But again, it looks kind of cute, but I'm not sure. Still on the fence with this one, but hey, Explorers of Woodlands, go check it out. You have 61 hours to make up your mind. It is funded, so definitely if it interests you, you're running out of time. The last one we have here for games coming to an end. 28 hours left on sayū. sayū is sort of an abstract tile game. So I guess you're using these two-sided tiles that are flipping each other over, and you're trying to get it all to your color. Tile must have the arrow pointing toward your opponent's tile, and then you flip it, and you're trying to get all the tiles flipped to your color. So interesting, but how much are we talking here? So we're looking at a $43. No, that's 2 boxes. $35 or 25 US. 25 US? That's not bad for this game. Look, it's abstract. It's simple. It's 2-player tiling. Something you could take anywhere. Sounds interesting. I'm not sure I would love it, but I think it's something that I would think. I think we'd enjoy it. For the price point, I don't think it's that bad. So, you've got 28 hours to go on this one. I don't know. Go check it out. Maybe it's something that would work for you. But that's it. Last game on our list for games coming to a close. So we will now cover games that launched this week. All right, games that launched this week. Get right to it. So this one is this one's getting all the buzz right now. So this is Euthia, Torment of Resurrection and Fierce Powers. Project was canceled. They had $494,000 or euro pledged already out of a $100,000 goal. A lot of chatter on this one. I'm not going to even begin to go into. I could do a whole video on just what's going on with this from what I know and I've heard. But it is shutting down, unfortunately. The game looked really good. I've heard that the original was really good. But hey, you know, things happen and it's canceled. So we won't go into it any further. All right, so this game launched. Now, remember, these are games that launched, so we don't know anything about them. And I'd like to come into this cold because I want to learn with you, like, if this is something that is going to pique my interest. So this will be the first time, potentially the first time I'm really talking about these games. So Camouflage is a 5-minute brain-stimulating pattern-matching puzzle game for 1 to 7 players with 3 exclamation points. And is 100% colorblind friendly. We are looking at $1,400 out of a $5,600 goal, 46 backers with 27 days to go. So there's a lot of time. We're not funded yet, but there's a lot of time. The buy-in is $20 for this, which is not bad. But you get the bundle with Sea of Plunder for $63 or more. Let's see what we have here. Nature's the worst. Be prepared for your eyes. This is, I don't know, these cards will probably make my eyes go crazy. Push them to both limits. Focus your effort to spot the matches and the best point combinations, but don't take too long because it's just a nature. A split second can mean the difference between life and death here. Here's the difference between victory and utter defeat. So it looks like you're just looking for patterns in the cards. Interesting. Speedy token cards. Players will each select a 6 cards. They will then play as quickly as strategically possible. I guess you're matching the patterns as you go. It's interesting. I don't know. Doesn't really call to me personally, but it looks like an abstract tile placement pattern matching game. Not for me, but doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not for me. A lot of people may be into these things, but that's Camouflage, and it is it's interesting. It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't. It's just not something that, like, you know, I like heavier. So that's just me. But $1,400, it'll probably fund. I think it's at a cheap enough level. I think if it gets a little more buzz, it might fund. So hopefully they do well. Wombat Kombat, 7,600 out of 15,000, 123 backers, 26 days left on this one. 2 to 6 player game, a strategic card game. You move your Wombat armies as sets to the battlefield strategically, form up a squad and attack to punish, kidnap, and steal precious poos from your opponents. Okay. Not what that really means. You should also be careful against possible events which may have various effects on this war. Collect the most poos to win the game. So are these poos? Is that what I thought they were wombats? It looks like a take that card game. Gather your wombats, move to the field, have 3v3 combats to kidnap, punish, and spare your enemies. Always watch out for your predator in events. Collect the most poo. Alright, I don't know. Very combat-y game. Like Mortal Kombat with a K. It's not for me. Like, this isn't something that would really appeal to me personally. $25 for the standard edition. I mean, it's inexpensive. It is a card game. It does come with a couple of dice, but at the end of the day, this is probably not something I would look to pick up for myself. Again, I'm not into these combat-y card games. Art looks pretty decent, but it doesn't really sing to me. But hey, you know, you never know. It's 123 people wanted it. $7,600, halfway to their funding goal. So 26 days left. Most likely, we'll see in the next week where this thing lands. Next week or two, if it's going to fund. But good luck to them. That's Wombat Kombat. The Flood. Okay, so now we did a playthrough of The Flood on our channel. 116,000 out of $25,000 goal, 1,000 backers. Not at all surprised that this thing funded, because it was a solid package. Look at this thing. Game was gorgeous on the table. Not gonna lie, absolutely gorgeous on the table. I heard there is a co-op expansion out there now that they announced. I think that's even cooler, co-op campaign or scenario, what have you. But yeah, the game was beautiful. Oh man, a neoprene mat, is that true? That's slick if that's the case. I really can't tell. A board game mat of your choice. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it was solid. It was a solid game. It was fun. Like the components, even for the prototype, the components were really good. So we did our playthrough here with the alpha prototype, and the alpha prototype is really good. So yeah, we really did enjoy this one. So I'm glad to see it funded. So I definitely think you should go check this one out for sure, because it's definitely worth looking at. Really like these. Like these components. They're putting the arcs together was really cool. I did enjoy that. I think the fact that you could do a co-op to build the arc together and explore with the mammoths and all that stuff sounded really cool too. But there you go. My recommendation is definitely go look at this one, check it out, and that is The Flood. Moving on. KERESIS Quest for the Elements. $2,000 out of $26,000 goal. 45 backers. 25 days goes. That's really low out of the gate, and that's a little concerning. It's a $52 buy-in. This is a quest for strategic game, exploration, territory control, resource management, tribe facing your opponents and master the 4 elements. I mean, it looks pretty nice. Competitive, 2 difficulty levels. I just think it looks pretty plain. I think that's where a lot of these games sort of slip up a bit. Is that unless it's plain and once you put the tiles out, does it start to look a little bit better? Maybe as you're building tiles on a board. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. It doesn't look bad, really. All right, I would have to do a little more research on this one to see what this thing's all about. But it looks like it could be pretty fun. Unless the whole time you're just battling each other for territory, then I'm not. That's where you lose me a little bit. I like a little more than just fighting each other, but I have to do some research on this, on KERESIS. So I don't know. Jury's out. Let me know what you guys think. KERESIS Quest for the Elements. If you know something that I don't know, but it just seems like, I don't know, an okay game. But I'd have to do some more research to see if it's something that, if there's something there that is a little bit more than what meets the eye. Creators of the First Dawn. This one we talked about last week that it was coming, so we got a lot more information because we didn't have any info last time. So where are we at? Let's see, funding wise, 1,400 out of 10,000. So this one's a little slow start. 22 backers. I think a lot of these are just a matter of where's the price point and what's the gameplay about, right? Now you're talking about print it. Don't want to print anything. $75 is the cheapest buy-in, it looks like. Early bird $75 or more. 75 euros, so that's like 80 bucks US. Is that what that is? Yeah, so that's a little pricey, but it looks like there's a lot of minis in this. Yeah, there's like a ton of minis. That's why the price is so high. Interesting, clear one. So the demo's on Tabletopia. The thing is, there's like so many pictures of like all this stuff going on, but it's like, what is it all doing? That's my question when I go through these campaigns. I'm like, okay, there's a bazillion minis. You can show me close-ups. All right, they look cool. I get it. But what are we doing with them? Like, what are they doing? Is it just, am I just pushing pieces on a board, or is there like more to this? And I don't want to have to watch a whole video. Like, can you just give me a step-by-step? Okay, here we go. Slip into the role, and like, you gotta go way down to see what's going on in this game. Like, there's a lot of meat before you even get to like what the game's about. Would you rather fight Volps? I don't even know. Ready, set, go. Setup is simple. Shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes. Explain the game takes about 15. Turn-based building system gives new players the opportunity to gradually familiarize. Manage resources. Expand your land. Cast powerful spells. Fight for glory. The world is ending. Easy to handle, hard to master. All right. So look, here's the catch. This stuff, honestly, in my opinion, should be at the top, so that as soon as I come into this campaign, I know what this game's about. Right? Boom. Give me the story. Give me how this game plays. What is this game giving me, right? Because you're basically telling me, here's the thing. World creation, gather, build, fight. Like, okay, how does that all work? Easy to handle, easy setup, hard to master, right? Different game variants, players modding, high replayability. Okay, that's all like day 2 stuff. Day 1 is, and then you go right into the pledge levels, and I don't even know what I'm buying here because it's just a lot of money for a lot of minis that I don't even know what they're doing. Show me how to play this game. Like in pictures, boom, 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 concise, and then I'll be more interested in it. Because right now I'm just like, I don't even know what's happening in this game, and I'm more likely to just move on because it just seems like I need to really work to figure out what's going on here when there could be a good game, you know, beneath the surface, and I'm not sure if that's what's translating into this $1,400 out of 10 grand. Don't know. And it's unfortunate because it looks like there's been a lot of love and care that's gone into this game, and I'm hoping there's an equal amount of enjoyment coming out of the play, but I don't really know, you know, without having to go to the very bottom of this thing, like where the play is, like what's happening. So Creators of the first one, let me know if there's something you know that I don't about this game, but I'm just not really seeing how the game plays without having to go do a lot more reading that I don't really have time to do. So that's Creators of the first one. So if you have the time for it, check it out, please. You got 15 days to figure out whether or not this thing is, you know, worth its weight in minis. All right, Age of Steam expansions, volumes 1 and 2. So these look like 13 new maps for Age of Steam. So my assumption is if you own Age of Steam, you're probably very interested in this, right? If you're into these train games. I do like train games. So this one is, I mean, you know the quality's there. This is Eagle Griffin. Eagle Griffin always does the best quality stuff. 162 grand, not surprised. 1,400 backers. Very popular series. So anybody interested in these maps is definitely jumping on them. You know, you're paying 48 bucks and you're getting all these maps for volume 2, 48 bucks for volume 3, $64 for volume 1. You get the deluxe kit for $79. So there's a lot of different options here. 94 all in, 245. You get the whole kit and caboodle. Just send me all the trains. You know what I'm saying? Love it. I don't think, yeah. Here's a disclosure. I don't think Francis and I have ever played Age of Steam. So, but it looks good. You know, it's definitely a little drier. You're just building routes and train tracks, but I don't know. Maybe we'd enjoy it. Who knows? But we've been surprised by some train games in the past. We've enjoyed them. Age of Steam, go check it out. If you need the expansions, want to buy in, there's a lot of different options here. If you already own it and you want to just get some maps, you have that option too. But well funded, 12 days left. You got plenty of time. Go look at it. Eagle Griffin, you cannot lose. Kingdom Builder Empire Edition, 129,000 out of 15. Well funded. Kingdom Builder is a popular game by Queen, and a lot of people seem to love it. I wish I had an opinion. I think it looks pretty sweet. Really this is one of those games that is on my list of, you know what, I really need to play this game because we haven't played this game and it just looks cool. I'm looking for a good like Civ builder, or not necessarily like Civilization Through the Years builder, but like a nice like city chunky kingdom builder. Like I think that really is it's enjoyable, and this looks like it would scratch that itch for us. And the minis look great. Tokens, wow, these resin tokens look phenomenal, man. Come on, look at that. What is the buy-in on this thing? So this is the upgrade starter kit, upgrade kit, Empire edition. That's it's chunky expensive, $239 for the Empire edition. Wow, it's for 2 copies. So you're looking at $250 for like all the marbles, man. I mean, the game looks solid. Like if I knew that this was that good of a game, I'd consider it. I'd consider it. I guess it comes with all these expansions. But and this upgrade kit, man, it's crazy. Probably looks solid on the table once you put these down. Like, God, this looks so good. If I knew how good the game was, I would consider it, but I haven't played it, so I'm definitely gonna look to get a copy, so we can try this out. Just the regular Kingdom Builder. Don't need the Empire Edition, and to see where it goes, because we haven't played this one, unfortunately, but it's funded. You have 10 days, so it's a shorter campaign. Go check it out if you like Kingdom Builder and you want some upgrades, some bling for your game. Or if you're just looking to get into it, now would be the time. All right. Wow, that brings us to the end of this segment. So that is every game that we know of that made our list, that had launched this past week. All the new crowdfunding projects going on. So there's quite a bit out there. And finally, we're just going to close out with the last bit of games coming next week that we know of. All right, so I only have 2 games, which is pretty sad. That's all we know about right now. First one here is Tiny Epic Vikings. So if you know anything about the Tiny Epic series, small box game, big game on the table, right? So these things they end up being table eaters, which is pretty funny because they're tiny epic games, but they do like sprawl on the table, and they all end up fitting in a little box, which is hilarious. So lead a clan of Vikings over 3 eras in hope of claiming icy lands of their own. Play Viking cards. So look, it looks interesting. 1 to 4 players. Their games are pretty good. So I'm definitely going to check it out, look into it. I do own a handful of Tiny Epic games, not all of them for sure, but I do own a bunch. So that is worth looking at. So that one's coming. Stay tuned for that. And then finally, we have Resist, which is a solitaire game about the Spanish Maquis and their battle against Franco. Fast-playing, card-driven solitaire game. You take the role of Spanish Marquis fighting against the Francoist regime. Over a series of rounds, you will undertake increasingly difficult missions. Defeating a missions gains you have victory points. You need to win games. I love a good solitaire game, for sure. Pretty cool looking theme. I think I'm going to be checking this one out for sure. So these should both be coming out in our list next week for those that launch. So we'll have a lot more information and screenshots to share, at least on the campaign pages, which will be pretty cool. But that wraps it up for this week. So look, hey, thanks for sticking around through it. It's been a lot of games as usual. We try to go as quickly as I can without skipping over anything important. But I think we've got a lot of repeat games come up in the mix this week, which is good. It means we're covering the games consistently and on a regular basis, and we're able to get the information over to you all so you can have enough time to get out there, make your decision on whether or not you want to back one of these games, because there's so many campaigns out there, and really just making sure that you're putting money to its best use and buying and backing the most appropriate games that'll fit into your collection. So that is it. This is Anthony from the Board Game Nexus. Until next week, see you next time.